Hey everyone, how is everyone doing on this? I apologize, on this Wednesday night. I'm doing my podcast. I was trying to do it on Monday night. I was talking to one of my friends, but then also it was kind of late, and and then I think I was also kind of like waiting for my wife to I don't know. I mean, it was just like because she was supposed to go to the embassy, right? Pakistani embassy for her visa, visiting visa. And so I was kind of like, sort of in my like essence, praying that she will get the visa and all that, right? But in any case, so I don't want to go into too many details about that, but let's see what happens. I mean, it seems like, you know, I have her petition through, through our marriage, through mine, but we're trying to get her here earlier through a visiting visa. But let's see, she thinks that, oh, it may still be pending. I mean, I don't know. I was very upset actually yesterday morning because of that. And I thought she had every right to actually get a visiting visa to actually visit her husband, right? Why the hell not? I mean, but then you never know, So, I mean, we tried, and I mean, if it works out, fine. If it doesn't, then we will just wait for the petition to be um, processed and approved, right, through my marriage for her to come here, right? But you know how you prepare for something, with your like whole heart, and you're excited and all that, and then it just doesn't, like, for example, turn out to be what you are thinking, what you thought about, and as to outcome, and just piss me off, you know. But then what can you do? You just take a lot of deep breaths, and which I couldn't do yesterday. I was very upset, and I talked to a few people. I talked to my dad, and etc. etc. And I mean, I would be inclined to say it is what it is, but hey, I mean, she's my wife. I'm her husband. So again, without repeating myself, I think she has every right to be with me, and I have every right to be with her. Right. And so all these freaking hurdles, and I said this many times that, especially, I miss her, and I would rather want to be here together. Because this is sort of our home, this is going to be her home as well. But in any case, and I'm an impatient guy to begin with, but she's very calm, she was very calm. So that's what I really love about her, among many things. 'Cause I'm not usually a calm person, when it comes to things like that. And so I was upset, and I just basically completely shut myself down yesterday. I just didn't want to talk to anyone after whatever, right? But then I felt bad that, well, I felt bad for her first and then for myself. But she's very optimistic, and which is good. I'm a skeptical guy. I have always been a skeptical person about this whole fucking world. Um, so I guess we complement each other. Let's see, right? Let's see. And I don't want to get too much into the details, but I'm still kind of like upset, to be honest with you. You know, um, But wish us the best of luck. I mean, because it sucks to again, get married and be together for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and then not be together. It sucks. In any case, so a lot of deep breaths, and then hopefully, it will happen. It's just a matter of time. And I'm using a lot of and I'm sorry. I just I'm big to just work and just focusing on fucking work, and it just good that actually I shouldn't say fucking work, but I mean that's like our bread and butter, right? It's good that all of a sudden after New Year's all these projects are coming. Even some of my old clients, architects are coming back to me. Um, so all of a sudden we got so much work. Nothing like really like what do you call um significant to say, oh, I'm going to do engineering for like a 20-story, new building or any of those, right? But I got to be humble. Um, I got to be humble. And I was actually talking to one of my friends on Sunday. We did go play simulator, golf simulator, which was actually better than I thought because obviously golf, when you play on real course, it's nice weather and it's like a therapy. Simulator is obviously not the same, but it's not as bad as you think. As I thought, I had played it once before, this place in Hoboken. So we did play like 9 or maybe 10 holes. I think we played 9 holes, but it's kind of little expensive if you want to play like 2 hours. But we played hour and a half. In any case, so what the hell I was talking about? So this is what I was talking about. I was talking to my friend. After that, we went to grab a couple of beers, and you know, I was telling him, hey man, I thought that I was going under during COVID, right post COVID, in terms of my company. But with the help of the government, as much as I bash the government, in terms of like how politics and all that, I think politics are totally different from how government is run. Let's say in Washington, the government is supposed to be run by the technocrats, technocrats and people who have been there in these departments and whatever, right? Not the politician. I understand politicians, they put their signature on paper, but that really, they are just like mouthpieces. And so I gotta be humble. I gotta be humble that I thought I was gonna go under, and the biggest thing for me was like paying bills. But with the help of the government, the money that I got from the government, the loan, which I had to pay back, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. But at least, I basically resurfaced above the, above the flood line. I basically resurfaced, and I, you know, uh, looked around, above the surface of the water, and yeah, in that sense, I should be a little more humble, and I feel lucky, and yeah, I mean, I work hard. I just finished working. Actually, it's like 9 o'clock. Because well, yeah, well, I mean, weren't you married to your work, sir, before you got married? Yeah, basically, I was, and A lot of other small companies I heard, they were not lucky. They didn't get lucky, and lucky, not lucky, are lucky, and some of them actually really went under. You know, and I think if people think about what happened in the last 2 years, yeah, it was a real like event in the history of this fucking planet. Was it like the 100-year history repeated itself? I don't know. I mean, if you think about that, then there is supposed to be a real recession coming up. Everyone? I hope not, and I don't think so. People say that, oh, it's the repetition of the 100-year history. Every 100 years, history repeats itself. Yeah, well, this history repeats itself I think, every way and every other way possible. But that's just a coincidence. Doesn't mean that, oh, around this time, 1918, Spanish flu happened and it killed, how many people it killed the Spanish flu, right? And then now this fucking thing happens, approximately 100 years after, right? But I don't think all the other events before pandemic and, we don't know post pandemic, I mean, the next 10 years, I don't think they're going to be the same. I hope not. Because late 1920s and 30s was a real fucking disaster, the real recession. And isn't that when they actually prohibited the alcohol, and then hence the prohibition, right? But in any case, without being too, what do you call, pessimistic, and without being too negative about the state of things in the whole fucking world, I mean, whole fucking world, I really don't care much. I mean, I'm not the fucking messiah or somebody who's supposed to take care of the entire planet. As long as I just take care of myself, and which yeah, I understand. My wife says that, regardless of what happens, we have to basically keep our boots straight and, keep our head high. Um, but you think that those fucking people at the embassy, I mean, and I just made me like kind of sad that, I mean, she's not just like applying for like visiting visa to visit somebody randomly, you know. I'm her husband, dude. She's asking, requesting permission to visit her husband. What kind of a fucking like uh law in the whole world that, oh, sorry, we have a lot of like cases, we have a lot of restrictions now. Well, she's not coming here for excursion, right? Well, what do you do? Like, you're okay, so you're married, right? You're married, and then now all of a sudden you're not with your significant other, right? Well, what the hell do you do? Huh? You do everything possible to be with them, right? You love them, they love you. And so, what's the fucking problem that they didn't give her the visa, right? In any case, so I don't want to like talk about this because then she's gonna give me a lot of shit. Why did you talk about this on the podcast? Okay, so what the hell I was talking about? All right, so I was talking about, oh yes, so I was just jumping from one topic to the other, obviously, as I do usually, right? So I yes, I have to take a lot of fucking deep breaths and just take it fucking easy, and you know and say to myself, hey man, listen, you should be humble to an extent that not only you survive fucking pandemic, you survive all these fucking years, right? Being alone, yes, it was not easy. The society, fuck the society in many ways. if it has really like given you some sort of a fucking like, this what do you call this, sadness or whatever the of life is, right? But then yeah, well, I also, kind of like just built this wall around myself, and I'm like, I'm not talking about that, being narcissistic and all that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, who's not fucking narcissistic? Everybody's narcissistic, right? To an extent. But I just kind of like closed myself off from the society, and I just focused on work, and I just went with the flow, right? Maybe I went too much with the flow in the past 3, 4 years, right? But again, what the fuck is the point in going back to the fucking past when we can't do anything? Dwell in the fucking past. That's the first thing us human beings have to learn. Okay, so maybe this should be the topic of my discussion for uh, for the podcast, right? The topic of discussion for the podcast should be podcast, sir. How to not live in the fucking past. Now, to that extent, I would say that yes, it's easy for people who did not have a lot of like bad things happen to them in the past. Now, bad things, how do you define bad things are like you went to jail or somebody like beat you up, or I mean, yeah, well, somebody beat me up almost to like when I was like, I don't know, I mean, I wasn't unconscious, but whatever it was, like back in 19, whatever the fuck it was, 94, 95. But I didn't go to jail or anything like that. But the point I'm trying to make is that, yeah, those things can have what they call the mild PTSD. And look at what's happening with these war veterans, right? They have the severe PTSD, especially, they have seen all these like fucking, um, the trauma of fucking war, and just imagine like people going through that. I'm not even talking about soldiers. Soldiers, yeah, of course they are trained to be like that, but then they get fucking PTSD when they come back and all that, right? And hence the whole situation with the veterans and all that, right? But then how about the people who have actually been part of that fucking war, not of their own making, right? Any case, so forget the war, sir. There's a tragedy which is still happening right now in this fucking world, and our politicians, or even European politicians, they don't have any fucking guts, or they don't have any like real genuineness to stop this war in Ukraine, right? Which kind of pisses me off, but I think there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to stop that fucking war. Again, I'm not. Listen, the only thing I can do for myself is just take it easy, sir. Take it easy. Focus on focus on the things that are important in your life, right? Okay, so getting back to the topic of how to forget the past. You can't forget the past, right? There are things in the past that may actually really bother you. And those are the things, sometimes what the therapists call them. Some of those things are actually really sitting deep in your subconscious. And you don't realize that, oh shit, maybe I'm thinking about something, or something is bothering me. But maybe because that something that's bothering me is or has something to do with something happened in my fucking past, right? That could be fucking true. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist to tell all of you out there that may be the case. But what I'm trying to say is that I have constantly, even to this fucking day, to this second, to this minute, I have tried to basically, I have been trying to basically let go of the fucking past and just, you know, there's a lot of things like that. For me, I think just the waste of time in New York, I think there's one thing. But then at the same time, I feel that, yeah, well, I mean, what else could I do? I mean, I tried everything, in terms of like relationships and all that, right? But whatever, doesn't fucking matter. So all these things, right? And then, and then for me, I think about all these things, and I'm like, at some point in time, and then even before COVID, at some point in time, I thought, I was thinking, because I used to go to fucking Colorado, right, for vacation every fucking year, right? Like Labor Day, and then I would come back to Brooklyn, and from like pristine fucking mountains of Colorado, and I'll come back and I'll be fucking depressed, man, depressed out of my fucking mind, you know, being from mountains, and then you are here in living in Brooklyn, and you're working your ass off, but then you don't have any other fucking life, besides work and just I mean, and then the fucking loneliness, and so at some point in time, I thought, what the fuck am I doing? Like, is this a life I'm living? I mean, the balance of life, that's the other things. The two things. One is that can't dwell in the fucking past all the time. Yeah, you have to make a pact, not a pact, sorry. You have to basically, what's that word? What's the other word they use? You have to basically, um, make peace, not make peace. Yeah, make peace with your past and just let it go. If you think that somebody actually has harmed you, somebody, you feel that they have actually kind of like, hurt you, you have to let it go. You have to let it go, and then you have to forgive them. Okay, that's it's very important. It's very important. Forgive them, and also you have to forgive yourself. Maybe you also made some mistakes. I mean, my mistakes were like stupid shit, dude. You know, and so I think for years and years, I think I could not. I wasn't able to forgive myself. I think that's what it was, and like I said, even to this day, I feel like I've wasted so many fucking years, when I should have gotten my fucking like citizenship years ago, right? Instead of last year. So that's a big thing, for me. But so I have to let it go, because now here's the thing. This is what very important. Okay, any therapist will tell you, okay, man, or woman, or lady, or gentleman, right? So what is it bothering you? Why do you dwell in the fucking past, and why do you talk about this? I mean, so something is bothering you, then you have to resolve it. You have to resolve it. If you, even if it as simple as, although this is not simple, even if it's as simple as, for example, if you need to talk to someone from your past that you think that you need to resolve with them or something, right? I mean, if you are close to your, for example, family, your family members, your parents, your siblings, I mean, then I don't, like I talk to my dad, or when I need to talk to him, or even my mother, or even my brother, I try to like fucking, like talk my heart out, sometimes I will do it, but again, I don't want to like keep things inside me, it's like it's not like I have issues with my dad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had some issues with my dad in the past, and I still feel that he wasn't there when I needed him, in the teen years. But again, I at the same time, yeah, I kind of blame him, but then at the same time, he still gave us the shelter, the education, and whatever he could, even up to the day I was flying here, he supported me, and also, obviously he supported all of us. Yeah, they were. Yeah, I mean, he's not the perfect dad, but then who is perfect dad? I think that's what it is. Nobody's fucking perfect in this world. Um, and so, if I hurt somebody, through whatever means, because sometimes, I get fucking angry, and then I send these text messages. I used to. I don't do that anymore. I mean, I try not to, but something is really bothering me. I would do that. Uh, so I apologize if I've said anything bad to any one of you out there. It's not easy to live a life. It's not easy to live a life, especially in this like, yeah, what do you call setup of where we live in the fucking Western world. And Western world is just a world which makes you like fucking lonely, man. That's what it is. I think I have basically beat this topic to death in my past podcasts, and I don't want to repeat this. But two things I'm gonna come back to, and those two things are: you have to basically let go of your fucking past, forgive people, forgive yourself, and let people forgive you. All right. So that's it. That's it. And also at the same time, don't be a fucking doormat. Don't be a fucking doormat, because if you're gonna do that, you're gonna be basically just like suppressing shit in your own fucking head and your mind, and that's gonna like not help you. That's gonna like really like rot you out from inside. So that's why it's good to take it out and talk to people and get it out. It's just, if you keep it inside, oh my god. um and yeah, we have to live with our demons, what the fuck it is. For example, for me, I think I have to just like figure out, where the fuck my like this, sometimes I get like, upset, like, where is this coming from? I understand there are a lot of things that I can be upset at in the whole fucking world, but at the same time, I have to say, I have to take a deep breath, and I'm going to say, oh, let this fucking thing go, not act like a fucking, whatever. Uh, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there, whether it's, you know, regardless of your gender or whatever, right? Your social status or your whatever, which country you are in, you know, and also I think you have to have like this connection to the people, like-minded people. It's important. And I have actually started talking to one of my college friends, and I think he's kind of like, I think he's younger than me, but he was actually much more mature, even in college years, because I was just kind of narcissistic, and more narcissistic at that time, but without a lot of information. And so I was just this kind of stubborn, and like, just focusing on my work. I need to get the fuck out of the mountains because I wanted to pursue a higher education, blah blah blah, right? Who doesn't, right? But I've been recently started talking to him, and he's successful, out in Australia. Australian, like, outback, right? Is that what it is? And he's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's a great listener, and I appreciate his friendship even to this day. And just it's good to actually be connected to the people that you had a connection in the past, and you felt that you could get out of this friendship or this whatever, more, and it could help you in like, and just even just having fucking laughs, dude. I'm not talking about you make your friends like therapists, no, just having laughs and like, yeah, this is what it was, that's what it was, in the past. Oh my god, you remember that fucking time when we were in the fucking college, things like that, and yeah, and then sometimes you have to fucking like appreciate, cherish like good things in life. In fucking, am I going to sound like a fucking like a half therapist, half like a wit? I hope not. Um, no, what was the other thing I was talking about? Oh, right. So yeah, letting go of the past, and then what was the other fucking thing I was talking about? I'm going to sound like fucking really half-wit right now because the most two most important things that I was talking about are what usually psychiatrists and therapists and psychoanalysts talk about, like people like Jordan Peterson, or what's his name, Huberman, right? And I don't have any fucking expertise in that, but I'm talking from my life experience. All right, I'm talking from my life experiences, and life is not perfect. I have been a person all the fucking time who still thinks to this day that life should be perfect. To an extent, yeah, it should be, but then it's not. You see, that's the fucking problem. So, without like really fucking ranting, because I feel like I just like kind of like ranted in like, I think I just kind of like, what do you call it? I kind of like decompress myself after that whole thing because we were, I'm still like fucking. I'm sorry. I'm just again, going on and on about this thing with my wife and her visa and all that. But I'm just hoping that things would be um, what we expect them to be. In a few months she'll be here. I mean, that's all I can say. And in the life just fucks you up, man. Or really, it can fuck you up, really. I mean, I have felt that way, like especially through my like fucking like own like when I closed the fucking the world, my own world. It wasn't like I basically dug up a fucking hole or I dug up a fucking I carved a fucking cave and I just was in there and I didn't want to talk to anyone. It wasn't like that, but it was sort of like that too. But I did reach out. I realized because I was just looking at my old text messages, and then at some point in time, because I was talking to like to these guys, from the mountains where we come from. And at some point in time, I think I got so fucking frustrated. I think this is one of those fucking moments again. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to my fucking past. You see that? This is how it is. Because this is how your therapist is going to say, "Oh, really? So this is what bothering you?" Well, this was one of the things. I had like 6 employees, and I was running a payroll, in a nice fucking office downtown Manhattan, right? I wasn't making any fucking money, but hey, listen, I was at least paying bills. I was paying my employees. I was paying myself, right? And then I was coming home to a fucking empty apartment. And so that was one of the fucking biggest things that actually bothered me at that time. Obviously it would bother any one of you out there, and I don't blame you, to be honest with you, because many of you guys who have been in here in New York and Northeast area, especially, this whole fucking region, especially, this is where all of us come first, right? Unless you actually went to some school in fucking California and then you ended up on the West Coast, right? But I went to a school upstate New York. I don't want to name the names, but whatever, right? And so the point I'm trying to make is that here in this region we're in one of the toughest regions. What are the toughest regions for many things? Weather, relationships, and just life in general. I mean, life in fucking general. Oh, people think that America is such a fucking like paradise. I don't think people think of America like that. But I mean, some people because of America being the land of opportunities. It sure is. It sure is. And what I'm trying to say is that Northeast region is one of the toughest regions because of whatever. A lot of people, New York being the biggest city, the largest city in the whole fucking country, so it's tough to live. Rents are expensive, cost of living is fucking expensive. And then the whole fucking dating scene. I'm glad I got married last year, you know. And then the scene is the toughest, man. It's like the fucking cutthroat, because I have gone through that on many levels, like a lot of rejections and a lot of like fucking, oh my God, where is she? It's like, and then you realize, and then you feel like at the end of the day, you do that for a couple of years, a few years, and at the end of the fucking day, then you tell yourself, you talk to yourself, what the fuck am I doing here? Some people are brave, they make decisions um, to move out of here, and others, they just keep going, and somehow, things work out for them, or maybe things don't work out for them, but whatever it is, right? Um, Northeast, yeah, Northeast United States is. I mean, I'm talking about like, I'm not talking about Boston and all those areas, right? But New York and this area is the toughest for anything, for everything. You think that, oh, New York is big, it has all the party scene, the bars, and the all the beautiful women, all the good looking guys, and it's like, but at the end of the day, it drains the fuck out of you. It drains you the fuck out of your fucking mind. Especially if you are young, and yeah, I understand if you're in your 20s, right? And then, yeah, this is what you love, this is what you're here for, right? Besides working your fucking ass off at the fucking whatever hedge fund or whatever it is, right? But balance of life, yes, balance of life. Besides not to live in the past, and yeah, I think I said enough about that. Try not to live in the past. Try not to like, yeah, if you want to live in the past, bring the good moments of the past, have laughs, have fucking laughs, and that's what it is. Life is too short to like dwell in the fucking, oh, this is what happened. Ah, fuck all that, dude. You know, yeah, we say that, but then the problem is that these memories are with us. So when I say these fucking memories are with us, means somehow our brain is a huge fucking computer. It takes information from, I guess, five senses mainly, right? Five fucking senses. That'll be your touch, your eyes, visual, right? And then the sound, and then all these somehow are recorded in your fucking brain, in this small fucking like brain, but it's huge fucking computer inside, right? Biological fucking machine of computer, right? And so those memories are there. They're still there. You can't suppress or oppress them. The problem is oppressing those memories. It's not good for you, because at some point in time, they may surface, and then they may make you feel like fucking whatever, right? Um, so it's better to deal with them, and there are many ways to deal with them. Again, I don't want to sound like fucking like Jordan Peterson or all these other guys, right? But balance of life. See, balance of fucking life, right? For example, if I'm fucking working, right? Let's say, I worked today from like fucking when did I go to the office? 9:30, right? And then I had to go to a construction site, and then blah blah blah, and I work until like 9 p.m., right? With like small break for dinner and then lunch and all that, right? And if you're doing that constantly, I mean, there's my example. If you're doing that constantly, And then at the same time, you don't have like any other fucking activities in your lives. Especially this is why I'm telling you that this fucking whole Northeast region and maybe the whole fucking Western world is what makes you like really like kind of depleted, you know, makes you depleted, with with energy that you need you get from like just hanging out with your friends or just doing something other than work. So that's the balance of life. That's very important. Balance of life, because what the fuck? I mean, I understand. I'm not saying that you should live a mediocre life. I'm saying that you should live a what do you call a an exemplary working life. You should be really good at what you do, right? And then just climb the ladders in your work, in your profession, right, career, but also dedicate time to spend with your friends, loved ones, right, and your significant other, obviously, right. And for me, obviously, that's a big thing now. um and she's not here, and sometimes I come home and I feel like, oh shit, what the fuck. And balance of life, however you do it, however you fucking do it. I'm not saying that you should stop working and then you should all of a sudden in the middle of the fucking day go jump in fucking Hudson River or whatever river it is, right? Just to have something different. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that you have to have and then this is the other thing. You have to have balance of life. This is the other thing. You have to have a balance of life, spending time with your friends and family, and then pursue a hobby. I don't know. I mean, I don't have. Well, I want to pursue a lot of fucking hobbies. Well, I mean, not really. I mean, golf is one of my hobbies. You know, no matter how good or how bad I am, you know, but I'm doing it, and I like golf. And then if I say, oh, I want to get my private pilot license, recreation license, because I want to fly planes just for fun and all that, right? And then my wife is going to give me a lot of shit. In any case, so without getting into too many of those details, you gotta have some sort of a balance in life. And it doesn't mean that you want to get like a private pilot license, you want to fly planes. It could be like simple. It could be something simple that you like to do in your life. Some of my cousins and from these guys from mountains, they do a lot of volunteer work, you know, which is a lot of actually, I think, which is a lot of like, what do you call, impetus for your growth. I think because when you do, I used to do a little bit of volunteer work in the two thousands, teaching English to these like old, like really old migrants and all these people who are living in these in like inner city communities where if you are from, let's say, from Dominican Republic or from Bangladesh, you'd be basically living this enclave of these communities where you didn't even have to go out of your neighborhood. Means you didn't have to even speak Spanish, right? But then, at some point in time, I mean, I'm sorry, you didn't have to speak. If you are a Spanish speaking person, you didn't have to even speak English, right? So, yeah, I mean, they do a lot of volunteering, uh, which I think kind of gives them satisfaction to an extent of their life, and also, it involves community and all that, and I'm not doing any volunteering. I'm not doing anything, dude. I mean, besides, I'm just fucking working. I mean, you know my schedule, right? I just work fucking, these hours, weekdays, and sometimes, a couple of hours weekend. And then sometimes I play golf, or sometimes my play time is just like, yeah, I'll have a couple of beers with one of my friends, right? And I don't have a lot of friends. And yeah, because I'm narcissistic. Well, I mean, whatever, right? It's just not easy to actually have a lot of friends, especially my age, and then you have to also prioritize your life, you know. Uh, but I'm traveling next month, so that's good. At least I'll be with my wife for a few weeks, you know, and then we will make some plans. I hope that we can spend some time in Europe. I'm hoping she gets the visa right in summer. Summer would be the best time to be in Europe, I think. And yeah, I mean, once she and I are together, I think we have a lot of things. I mean, at least I have planned a lot of things, especially to travel, because I haven't really traveled anywhere, dude. Fuck this. I haven't traveled to Asia. I haven't traveled to fucking Europe. I haven't traveled to South America. Nowhere. Can you fucking believe that? And I don't want to do that by myself now. You know? And so I would rather do it with her. Am I becoming too much dependent on her? Well, no, it's not a matter of dependency. Okay, it's called codependency, right? Or what they call companionship, right? With your significant other, and I love her, and I want to cherish our relationship, and I want to do things with her. I have done enough things by myself. Yeah, I've traveled within the United States, some states and some cities, by myself. And it's not just, yeah, sometimes it's fun to just do it by yourself, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just not. And brave are the people who do it by themselves rest of their lives. But see, the problem is that it's not a problem, sir. It's not a problem. But thing is that I have not had a chance in my life to actually have a steady relationship with somebody who loves me, right? Who loved me. I'm not saying that everyone fucking hated me, but what I'm saying is that I really didn't pursue. I think I was not serious enough in the past. That's what it is. Maybe I was at some point, but maybe I wasn't. But in any case, I don't want to like dwell into my fucking past relationships and all that. But what I'm saying is that I think why the fuck am I going to like go to for let's say for example like fucking South America or these countries or even like if I want to go to these like these like landmark tourist areas which I want to see before I fucking die, right? Why would I want to do that by myself? Doesn't make any fucking sense. Why wouldn't I do that with my wife, right? That's it. And so that kind of like made me kind of like sad yesterday when she told me that although I mean I mean I don't know yet because I don't know if they really kind of like said, oh, we can't give you a visa, you should wait for your husband's petition. I don't know. I have no fucking idea what they're gonna do, but it doesn't matter, we tried. And it's just a matter of time, and it sucks. It sucks. But I'm just gonna like take a lot of like fucking deep breaths, you know, and eventually we'll be together. For the better, as maybe it's for the better. That's what she says. You know. Uh, what else is going on? What the hell did I just spend 50 minutes on? Huh? What did I spend 50 minutes on? No freaking idea. Well, I mean, you have heard me, right? You have heard me. So, what is today? 18th? January 18th, 2000 fucking 23. So 18 days of this fucking month are gone, right? And so I will be gone in February, first 2 weeks, at least two, maybe 3 weeks, traveling South Asia, right? I wish I could go to mountains. Maybe if I can catch a flight, I'll go to fucking mountains, right? Because like being in the mountains is just totally different. Although now it's too much populated. Now there's no land left there, man. Jesus fucking Christ. I think they all should apply for US visa and move to fucking like these Midwestern countries. I mean, sorry, Midwestern states. You know, whether we have a lot of fucking land there, right? And why the fuck not? I mean, most of our people from mountains are educated. They should apply for that. And, and also they're the best farmers. We are the best fucking farmers, dude. And I can basically give you another fucking piece of paper as a guarantee. Go there in the fucking mountain and see how we carved the fucking mountains from nothing. We had nothing, dude. Our ancestors had nothing. How did they carve those like rugged, like rocks to bring water from those streams, right? Glacier fed streams, And I have yet to see if that's actually there's something that any other civilization has done. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe somewhere in South America, Europe, I'm not sure. Maybe they do, but maybe they did. I'm not sure. But in any case, it's one of the toughest lands out there. And yeah, excuse me, we had nothing, man. We had nothing. We basically, I mean, that actually also should make me humble. That here I am fucking complaining, like, oh, my wife didn't get the visa and we're supposed to be together. Yeah, she had every fucking right to get the fucking visa, all right? But then at the same time, I have to like be humble and say, yeah, man, listen, you have a wife who loves you. Where you come from, it's such a humble, I think, kind of like for us, I think for people from the mountains, right? Where we come from. I'm not saying that don't negate we fucking worked hard and, that's how we ended up here, right? It's not like we just fucking, walked into the fucking, New York from like, well, you can't walk in New York from fucking Europe or any of those fucking lands, right? But what I'm saying is that, yeah, we worked hard, as we have always worked hard. And work is good. Again, keep the fucking balance and don't dwell in the fucking past. All of you out there. All right. And move on. Life fucking moves on and it just something that we have to actually what do you call it? Decondition ourselves, I think. Decondition ourselves from these notions, some of these notions that have been sitting in our head, even like deconditioning our lives. Just like, for example, simple things like fucking, oh, I've been doing this for so long. I mean, is this something that really I should be doing, or is this something that I really should reconsider in terms of, for example, maybe I should maybe I should like do something else. I mean, even as simple as fucking like go to, for example, this weekend. What the fuck am I doing this weekend? Let's talk about that, right? What am I doing this weekend? Really nothing. I'm going to be fucking miserable. Not miserable, but I'll be talking to my wife, and then I'll be basically just working, and maybe I'll ask my friends if they want to grab a couple of beers, right? And that's it. That's fucking it. What kind of a fucking life is that, right? Think about it. Well, I mean, if you want to be like a fucking, what do you call, a saint, one of those, Then they would tell you, oh, okay, so what else do you want? What else do I want? I want some fucking nice weather, right? Okay, well, you can't have that, right? That's what the saint is going to tell me, right? I'll be the human being talking to the fucking saint, right? Or the Messiah, whatever, right? Okay, what's the next thing you want? I'll say, well, how about you give me how about you give me a whole arena with choices of, like, for example, if I want to play golf, right? Or if I want to play pool, if I want to play, what do you call, maybe squash, or maybe I want to play something, right? But then, okay, all right, well, we got those here too, you know. Yeah, well, okay, but then, well, then what else? What else, right? Then I would say, you know what? I'll let me figure this out. I'll let you know. See. My weekend is not as filled as I want it to be filled, right? Oh yeah, maybe you want to, maybe you want to drive somewhere. Maybe you want to. But this, what can you do? What can you do? Where can you drive to? Like Washington D.C. What the fuck you gonna do down there, right? Nothing, right? Or I mean, in this fucking like northeastern like cold, and tomorrow I think it's gonna fucking rain. What else can you do, right? What else can you fucking do? Although it hasn't been too cold, so which is a good thing, right? And we haven't had any snow, which is also a good thing, although I shouldn't fucking jinx the fucking weather. But maybe I did. But whatever. What I'm saying is that my calendar, especially the weekend calendar, is not very like, what do you call it? It's not very productive. I mean, yeah, I can be productive working and all that, right? But then how about doing something that actually makes me feel better, right? Like last Sunday was actually really good. You know, we played, me and my friend played, at least for an hour and a half, we played like fucking golf simulator, right? But then you get sick and tired of that too, you know? So then what else do you want to do, sir? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should actually do something. Oh, how about this? So I was telling my wife that I came up with this fucking design of a fucking spaceship that I should actually. She thinks that we should sell this to Elon Musk, right? Yeah, no, this is beyond Elon Musk. Elon Musk does not have any money. Nobody has any fucking money to actually design a ship like this because it's huge, right? It has to be huge. So in any case, I have the blueprints, basic blueprints based on a sketch I came up with, right? There you go, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to actually, I printed this from my office, and I'm going to actually, this is the blueprint for the spaceship. Oh, it's the fucking secret, right? So what I'm going to do is that maybe I should just paint this, based on my sketch, with different colors, get some paint, right? And then I'm going to frame this, right? I'm going to frame this, and then I'm going to frame this and put it on one of the walls, maybe in our bedroom, right? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I mean, hey, listen, sorry, I have that fucking, you know, engineering and space travel going sort of like, not addiction, but whatever you call it, right? We humans have always wanted to explore the fucking universe, right? Starting with our own solar system, right? Yeah, we haven't even been able to go to fucking Mars. Talk about like exploring other fucking exoplanets, which is like almost fucking impossible, right? There you go. You see it? Mini gallons. See the thirsters? Thirster. Those are thirsters. Men thirster, right? So I think I'm going to do some paint on this and paint it and then show, uh, you know, uh, it comes to some sort of solution, right? So maybe that's what I'm going to do this weekend. Uh, here I can do some painting and yeah, this is more like an art project than actually coming up with the design for a fucking spaceship, right? Because a spaceship like this, first of all, nobody can actually build. It's impossible because it's gonna take like a gazillion fucking dollars. I mean, I'm talking about like fucking 16 man thrusters, man fucking thrusters, 16 of them. Like for example, Elon Musk's what is that biggest rocket, right? Biggest rocket, 16 of those rockets, right? And then also those are main thrusters, and then the lift off ones, lift off, because these thrusters you can't tilt them 90 degrees to do a lift off, right? In any case, so I think with that said, everyone, I'm gonna close my podcast. I assume you all are having a great weekend. I'm sorry. I apologize. I had to do this podcast in the middle of the week, right? But I will see you all next Sunday or Monday.